my ghoulish gang, we're stepping into the fog-drenched corridors of a story older than sin itself, the tale of man's eternal dance with his darker half. But this isn't Stevenson's Victorian London or Universal's Haunted Labs. In this film, we watch Christopher Lee take the scalpel of science straight to the human soul and find something snarling back. And yes, my spooky fam, Peter Cushing is along for the ride. You can almost hear the audience say, "Ah, so it's Hammer time again." But no, not this time. This is an Amicus Productions film, Hammer's mischievous sibling. Less castles and corsets and more moral decay and mad science. So light your candles, lock the lab door, and pour yourself a bubbling beaker of something toxic, because tonight we're dissecting I, Monster, the film that turned Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde into something only Amicus could dream up, Dr. Marlowe and Mr. Blake. Our story opens up with that unmistakable face, Christopher Lee. Tall, suave, and every bit the man who thinks he's smarter than God. He's Dr. Charles Marlowe, a psychologist convinced that good and evil can be chemically separated. Yes, it's the old, what if I just bottled up morality and took a sip routine? It never goes well. He begins his experiments using his unfortunate patients as guinea pigs, injecting them with a serum meant to strip away inhibition and reveal their primal selves. At first, it's a harmless curiosity, but soon, like every horror scientist worth his salt, Marlowe decides, you know what? Let's try it on me. And from that moment, we meet his other half. Now, unlike the classic Mr. Hyde, Marlowe's monstrous persona isn't a cackling caricature. iMonster's version, Mr. Blake, is cruel, cunning, and eerily human. The transformation is subtle at first, just makeup and posture. Lee hunches, his voice grows guttural, and the mask of civility melts away. And this is where iMonster shines. The horror isn't in the claws or fangs, it's in how much Blake still actually looks like Dr. Marlowe. He's not a beast from the shadows, he's you, minus your conscience. And that's what makes it sickly compelling. Of course, with every dose, Blake grows bolder, committing crimes, reveling in sin, slipping deeper into the muck, until soon there's no line between doctor and demon. And as always, my potatoes, Peter Cushing shows up to complicate things, as Marlowe's dear friend, Dr. Utterson. Calm, moral, quietly suspicious, Cushing plays it like a man watching a friend fade into madness and refusing to believe it. The two share this beautiful tension, intellect versus empathy, reason versus denial. Their scenes together, pure gothic gold. It's like watching two titans of British horror play chess with their facial expressions. Did you know iMonster was originally shot in 3D? Amicus was experimenting with a new stereoscopic system called Pulfrich, which used tinted glasses to give the illusion of depth only when the camera moved. The result? Half the movie looked like it's lunging at you, and the other half looked like someone left the lens cap on. Critics were, well, unimpressed, so Amicus ditched the gimmick, but the strange lingering camera moves make the movie feel hypnotic and almost dreamlike. It's actually one of those happy little accidents where a failed experiment actually adds to the unease. At its core, iMonster isn't really about transformation, it's about permission. You see, Dr. Marlowe didn't lose control. He gains the freedom to do what he's always wanted to do, but without the guilt. That's the twisted truth the film toys with. Evil isn't some curse that befalls us, it's the part of ourselves we politely hide. Christopher Lee captures that perfectly. You can see him relishing the power, the way Blake sneers, the way Marlowe pretends to fear him, but he secretly needs him. It's tragic and terrifying all at once. This isn't just Jekyll turns into Hyde, it's Marlowe likes being Blake, and that's far more disturbing. Visually, iMonster is pure early 70s British horror. Smoky rooms, amber lighting, and that slightly sterile London that feels like one stiff breeze away from madness. Director Steve Weeks was only in his early 20s when he made it, which gives the film this curious energy, half gothic classic, half countercultural paranoia. And while it's not flashy, it is atmospheric as hell. You could practically smell the chloroform and moral decay. Amicus didn't have Hammer's budgets and grandeur, but they did have mood, and I Monster drips with it. Every slow pan and every candlelit confession brings you into the film. Let's take a second to appreciate the obvious. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, the horror power couple of British cinema. By 1971, they'd been terrorizing and delighting audiences for over a decade. Lee, tall, brooding, and dangerous, and Cushing, elegant, sharp, and quietly heroic. They're like the cinematic yin and yang, and I Monster gives them another twisted dance. Lee's performance here is one of the most underrated. He makes you pity and fear him in the same breath. And Cushing? His restraint sells tragedy. When Utterson realizes his friend is gone and replaced by a monster that wears his face, it's quite devastating. It's a reminder that horror isn't just about blood, but it could also be about loss. When I Monster first hit theaters, I hate to tell you, but it bombed. Audiences wanted color saturated vampire tales, not a moody psychology lesson. Critics dismissed it as too slow and too talky, and you know what? Maybe it was. But looking back at it now, that's exactly what makes this piece special. It's for horror thinkers. It's patient, deliberate, and existential. The kind of movie you don't scream at, but you sink into it. Over the years, it's become a quiet cult favorite, rediscovered by horror fans who crave atmosphere over carnage. It's not Hammer's thunder and lightning, it's the whisper in the dark afterward. In the end, I Monster is less about a man who becomes a beast and more about the beast that is waiting for permission. Christopher Lee's Dr. Marlowe isn't cursed, he's liberated, and that's the real horror. Every time I revisit this one, I think about how easy it is to blame the potion, the moonlight, the curse, but deep down, maybe it's just us. Our own shadow self clawing at the surface, waiting for the mask to slip. So, the next time you feel that little voice whispering that you could get away with it, maybe remember poor Dr. Marlowe. He got away with it until he didn't. And that, my dear spooky fam, is why we never play chemist with the human soul. Until next time, stay curious, stay creepy, and remember, when it comes to monsters, there's no mercy.